I recently played this ball maze game again, which I liked to play as a kid. I got pretty good at it back then, but I'm not so good anymore. But I thought, why play it myself when I can just build a machine to do the work for me? So I got to work and built this. It has two motors to tilt the maze by some angle I'm telling it to. It can also reset the ball itself once it falls in a hole, so it can train by itself autonomously. There is a camera on top to track the ball 5 times a second. In this video I'm gonna show you how I built this and how good I got it playing at the end. I started out with a wooden version you can see here. It sort of worked, but it had some structural problems. The next version I did was 3D printed. This was more stable and also a bit smaller. Here are all the parts I used for this build. I attached 2 servo motors to the side which can tilt the maze. Those are then connected to a Raspberry Pi, a mini computer, to which I can send commands to rotate the motors. The top part is connected with a joint like this, so it can tilt without rotating. And of course, the most important part are these eyes, so it can properly see. This hasn't been my first or second version. I had a few mishaps and iterated through a lot of different designs over the course of this project. And now, how does it actually work? The camera records images like these. The images are given to an algorithm which detects the position of the ball. The algorithm required a few example images in which I labeled the position of the ball. It required quite a lot of images actually, which I all had to label by hand. Now that I can detect the ball, I can draw a picture of its surrounding environment, showing where the holes and walls are. This picture is then given to a controller, which decides in which direction to tilt the maze next. The movements of the motors are decided with a reinforcement learning algorithm. You might have seen a reinforcement learning algorithm playing other games already, like these. So the algorithm which plays the game is very general and not specifically programmed to solve a maze. It just plays the game and learns by noticing which actions work well and which are bad. This is done by giving it a reward for good actions and a negative reward or punishment, you could say, for bad actions. In my case, I'm giving it 1 point whenever it makes progress in the maze, and punish it when it falls into a hole. The rest is for the algorithm to figure out. It starts out by just doing random movements and slowly learns through trial and error. It got better over the course of a few hours, but even after I've left it training for days, it always got stuck on this bottom left corner here. A problem with this setup was that I could only process 5 images per second, and that might not be fast enough for tight spots like the one it falls into here repeatedly in the bottom left. So I upgraded to a better Raspberry Pi that can process up to 60 images per second and can therefore react faster in these tight spots. Here it starts learning again with random movements, getting to know its environment. Now, after a few days of training, it got past this tight spot and even further. The motions are also much smoother now that they can happen 60 times a second. So this is where I'm currently at. It navigates through the maze quite fast, but could not finish the maze completely just yet. I plan on continuing working on this project and still have a lot of ideas to improve it. I started writing a simulation so I can train on just a computer, which would also be much faster. If you are interested in this project, I added a link to my GitHub page. There I described how I built it in more detail and also included a list of parts, which are all quite affordable. So if you want to build this yourself or want to know how I did it in more detail, check it out or write me an email. Thanks for watching and goodbye.